Hello, everybody. Welcome today. We have got something that's just really unique. This is our first podcast. Have you ever heard that story when you always hear your favorite uncle start with three guys walk into a bar? Well, I got three friends, but we are three podcasters that walk into a bar. Welcome to the Three Podcasters Walk Into a Bar podcast. My name's Stu Turley, President and CEO of the Sandstone Group, and my two compadres are here and ready to go. We got David Blackmon first around the corner. David is an all-star Forbes author and president of his own energy company. And I mean, he is not only an author, he is a brilliant, good-looking guy. Thanks for stopping by, David. We're part of the buddies here.
Hey, thank you for having me, man. This is a great deal. We're going to have a lot of fun with it, I'm sure.
And since we have very low standards, we have RT. RT, he is also owner of his own oil company, but yet he's a fellow podcaster and he does the Crude Truth. And his company is Pecos Country Operating. And I mean, I have learned so much from him. He and I want to squeal on him here for just a little bit. We're going to be riding in the hotter than hell bike ride coming up. And if anybody wants to join us out there with the three podcasters go to a bar, we're going to have a lot of jokes. RT, welcome and thank you.
Hey, Stu, thank you for having me. Very excited to be here. David, how are you?
Good, great. That bike ride's crazy talk, though, man. That's crazy talk.
Oh, we're already slapping each other around. We haven't even got the beer going yet.
Man, I cannot believe you got us all together, Stu. You got David here and yourself and me for three podcasters walk into a bar. Hey, what jokes are we going to have coming up?
But when we sit back and talk about jokes, I just think of our president, and I don't have to go very far for jokes. And I'm sorry, but I have to go ahead and I'm going to turn this over to David for his first round, because quite honestly, you're a little bit stiff as I'm trying to coach young people. I'm a mentor to a lot of folks. And David, you're a little bit rough around the edges when you're trying to be really, really serious. I mean, and we got to lighten you up a little bit, man. But you lighten yourself up because you've got energy absurdity of the day, and everybody needs to follow you out there. What has been some of your best absurdities this week, David?
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, you're right about the president, unfortunately. I mean, it's tragic for the country, but the jokes do write themselves. You could never make this up, which I have to say about 5 times a week, I think. I do the energy absurdity of the day on LinkedIn and Facebook and Twitter, all my social media platforms. And I have a Substack, where I do it as well. This week's best one, of course, well, not best, I guess worst one was the president returns from Saudi Arabia empty-handed. He made a special trip over to the Middle East to try to get the Saudis to produce more oil and refused to shake the crown prince's hand. I understand the reasons behind that, but there's 70 years of protocol that every president before him has observed, regardless of the circumstances that happen to be in place at any given time. And all he did was go over there, insult the king and the crown prince, make relations between our two countries worse, and come back empty-handed. And he came back to America, and he's under pressure now to take all sorts of executive actions that the Democrats in the Congress want him to do, like outlawing crude oil exports again, which would raise
the price.
Oh my God, $300 oil prices maybe, and $10 gasoline prices if you do that. Just crazy stuff like that. And it's so disruptive. We joke about it, but it's really not funny, because what this president has done from the first day he took office is destroy the predictability and the ability of companies to believe in the stability of the American legal system and regulatory system. And that means companies are very reluctant to make major investments. And that means that we're not increasing production like we ought to be in a time of high prices, and yada, yada, yada. So I joke about it. I try to make light of it, and give people a little giggle every day. But it's increasingly hard to do it because of the tragic consequences that derive from it.
You know what's even sadder about your absurdity of the day is the crown prince, the fist bump from hell, that instead of the laptop from hell, it's a fist bump from hell. Did you see the receiving line with all the Saudi leaders? He's going along, Scooby doing along, fist bumping, and they're all pointing behind him and laughing.
Yeah.
So here he is going along, Scooby Dooby Doo. And then he shakes the king's hand.
And he shakes the king's hand, yes.
And the prince is standing here, and guess who took the picture? The crown's photographer got the prince looking at Scooby-Doo, shaking the king's hand. And I mean, steam's coming out of them.
Sure. As it should be. Honestly, I mean, really and truly, look at it from their perspective.
And even RT would not have done that. And I mean, this is horrible. And I'm sitting here, and then the other thing is, guess who showed up the day after?
Putin.
In Iran.
Yeah,
Putin. And he's over there. So Iran published, oh, by the way, we are insulted because Biden lied. Guess who shows up? So the most hated people. I mean, this is like people hate RT.
Nobody hates RT.
I don't, yeah.
I am kidding. Go ahead, RT. What do you think?
Again, just such embarrassment. David's energy absurdities of the day are always great, and they're always great for a chuckle. And so I enjoy them on a daily basis. However, no, this is no laughing matter when we have a president that is going over to a foreign country begging for more oil, when all he needs to do is literally sit in the same room as the major oil and gas companies here in his own country of the United States of America and actually talk and hash it out. But you know what? I think that's really the key point here right now for America as a whole, is sit down together, talk, and hash it out. If I recall, he was there 2 weeks ago, or no, all the majors were there 2 weeks ago, and he did not meet with any of them. That's another black eye on this administration. We see oil right now is still over $100. We were all correct that, hey, that $95 that we saw was going to go away. And we'll see this $100 at least for the next 2 to 3 more years. Some are thinking 5. But no, what this president did up there, and y'all said it best, it's like this is 70 years worth of protocols and formalities. And this man did absolutely none of that. So what would you expect for that, them to come over here to America to treat us the same way? So just very, very embarrassing. And then let's not even, mention, oh wait, I will mention that no deal was put in place. And the stories are contradicting left and right now. President Biden says one thing while the crown prince says something else. So who are you going to believe? But then again, the stories that this president has been telling for the last 2 years, I don't think any of them have been true.
I've never thought I'd see a Forbes writer of David Blackmon going out and quoting Al Jazeera. I mean, Al Jazeera telling the truth more than Biden. I don't get it.
Well, yeah. I don't know that I quoted Al Jazeera, but maybe I did. I don't know.
You did.
Not that there's anything wrong with that, but
no,
I
did. Believe me, I was just joking. I was telling the story on myself because I did use them in an article.
Oh, okay.
And they were right.
Yeah. Well, they're right. Yeah. I mean, actually, Al Jazeera is a very respectable news organization these days. It didn't used to be, but it is now. But I think the point that we all need to understand as Americans is that when our leaders go to foreign countries, to other countries, those countries have their own national pride. Those countries have their
You
own
bet.
traditions. Those countries have their own ways of doing things that we should respect as Americans. And too often, particularly in the Middle East over the last half century, too often our country has failed to do that.
Right.
And this was a weekend when this current president failed as miserably as any previous president ever has in that regard. And it really makes the situation with Saudi Arabia. The other thing we need to understand about the Saudis is they're a very important economic partner with our country, not just where oil is concerned, but where a lot of other aspects of our Middle East relations are concerned and security. And we are pushing them into the Chinese orbit and have been for the last year and a half now. And it's, it's the fault of the Biden administration. There's no real way to argue against that reality. And it's an intentional thing. And so this is very damaging to America's energy security and our national security. And it's not something that really ought to be happening.
No. So our RT, as we sit back and go, since you're going to run for president, David and I'll vote for you. I'm going to write you in, because our old buddy, you sit back and think, what were you doing on the last election? I think we could all three of us, I'll be the energy secretary.
There you go.
And then David, you'd be, because you're so stern and serious, you'd be the secretary of energy. Of defense. And then,
awesome.
RT,
Yeah,
you're the president, baby. I think you'd make a great one.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. We got to get our good friend Ryan Ray to be Secretary of State if we do that.
Oh, yes, he's the diplomat. There's no doubt about it.
Yes, and so we got to get him with all the international presence and known that he is known for, because he is international.
That would be 4 podcasters walk into a bar.
I said no one ever in a funny joke. So, getting kind of coming back to local here to the United States. This president also doesn't understand how middle America works and how entrepreneurs work here. When just last week, he also was giving all the convenience store gasoline owners a hard time and telling them to bring down the price of oil at the pump, or gasoline, at the pump. And it's like, you know what? Last time I checked, the markup on a gallon of gasoline for the actual person that sells it is 3 cents, right, on a good day.
On a good day.
On a good day. So for him to sit there and on national TV basically say that, it is a federal crime, if I'm correct, to do price gouging when it comes to the oil, to gasoline. So if he knows something that we don't, bring up the charges. I'm against that just as much as anybody else about true price gouging. But last time I checked, right now the federal government taxes are more than what the profit margin is for the small mom and pop gasoline station.
4 cents a gallon doesn't cover the insurance liability from the EPA coming in on a tank leak for those folks. No. So you can't tell me they're making any money.
No, it doesn't cover anything. And, that's why all these gas stations these days are actually caring about what the restrooms look like and how good their food is, because that's where they make their money, is on the sodas and the hamburgers, if they make those, or the candy bars and things like that. They want to get you into the store to make $1, because I'm sorry, a 20-gallon tank at 3 cents, that's 60 cents right there. That's not a
$97. David, I know you would say $97, but it was $97 when I filled up yesterday.
Well, still at these prices, my God, you must have been paying $120 a month ago. No. Because gas prices have dropped by 50 cents a gallon.
And they're taking a victory lap.
Yeah,
I saw RT claiming that one. He was spiking his hat in the driveway.
So I paid $3.79 per gallon at the local Kroger the other day, because I got a 30-cent per gallon discount, right, for buying groceries at Kroger.
Did you get that senior discount I get?
Well, I ought to. I certainly would qualify for it if they have. I don't think they have one. Yeah, you know what? I quit going to movies when I qualified for the senior citizen movie discount. It just pissed me off, so I stopped going.
I thought it was because you're too cheap.
Well, I am that too. Yeah.
Man, I haven't been to the movies since the pandemic and all that. I have not been in a while. I know a lot of people that have. They say that Jurassic Park and Top Gun are great movies to see, but I haven't seen them yet. So at some point, I guess I'll have to get out there.
Yeah, the new Elvis movie's supposed to be real good too.
I haven't heard about that. It shows you what kind of can I'm living in.
Of course, I guess I'm so old. I saw all that live, so I don't need to see the movie, do I?
Yeah, you lived it, as my father would say. I lived it. Yeah. No, I don't know about that.
Oh, come on, RT. You're not older than a biscuit. Come on.
No, these gas prices and like you said that this administration is taking a victory lap, and they're claiming that they did this. When I want to know, show me the proof. Didn't they ask in high school to show your work in math class? Like, all right, well, show me how you got to this, that you lowered these gas prices. And all it is I've been saying on the Crude Truth, my podcast, whenever I've done some radio interviews lately, it's like, this is nothing but fool's gold. The price is going to go back up, and it will stay up until they get, quote unquote, the Green New Deal off and running. And then that's what they're going to try to do, is make it look like the Green New Deal is affordable when it's truly not. And that's why they're raising the prices. And that's why he's doing what he's doing in this war that he waged on January 20th, I guess, of 2020.
Well, RT, didn't you see that thing where Mayor Pete was talking about he wanted that price staying up there so people could drive $64,000 EVs? I think you saw that.
Yeah, I don't know, do any of these politicians, any of them, fill up a vehicle anymore? I mean, it just blows my mind. It just totally blows my mind these days. And it's like, guys, y'all don't understand what's going on. I know I still have to fill up my pickup trucks whenever I go out to the oil field, and I still see the bills for everybody else that works for us. And we know that they've gone up, and they're gonna stay up until we have a administration, not just the Senate and Congress, but an administration that is friendly to the oil and gas industry. And we have at least 2 more years before that's going to happen.
Yep. Let's hope it happens in 2 years. I tell you, if it doesn't, I just can't even imagine the damage that'll be done if there's, Kamala Harris or or Pete Buttigieg be our next president.
But you know what? I am bullish on the U.S. oil folks and energy folks, the natural gas folks. They are the true unsung heroes out there. And if anybody could fix this thing, they can. And just turn them loose. They're like all the oil field folks and all the natural gas folks, anybody doing anything. You take the Cheniere upstream, downstream, everybody working to get low cost energy. They're like pit bulls. Just let them go, and then poof, they're going to be like a military canine and get it done. That's the way the culture is. Get it done.
No, I do believe that the oil and gas industry is what's going to save America. And getting to the deals, like, if we don't elect somebody different in 2022 that understands, capitalism, entrepreneurship in America, then we're damned. Then we're damned as a country, as a whole. That was our choice. We saw an election again 2 years ago where people chose an individual over what was proof in the pudding, and the pudding was tasting pretty good. Now, sometimes it may have had a mean tweet here or there, but hey, at least our country was in a great place. I was talking the other day about the good old fashioned Trump bump. I mean, come on, let's talk about 401ks here. I don't know about you two gentlemen, but I've got a few more years to go, and my stuff's looking pretty low right now.
But since David, so I cut him off again. I am so sorry. But RT, invest in oil.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's what we do on a daily basis.
It's what BlackRock's doing right now, right? I mean, BlackRock this week, that's another bit of irony, spent, what is it, $700 million buying a renewable natural gas company that makes natural gas from farm waste and garbage. And, so they're investing in natural gas, and Larry Fink is talked about wanting to increase the company's investments in oil and gas because it's performing so well. So,
Right.
even the ESG guys are beginning to catch on that they've made some real serious strategic errors here in the recent past.
No, oil and gas is a great place to invest right now from the tax benefits plus real returns. People that invested in ESG 18 to 24 months ago aren't still seeing any kind of return. So I don't know who would want to invest in something where they're not seeing any type of return at this time.
Well, but
All
they
right.
get to signal their virtue and feel good about themselves. So there's that.
Oh, good. They can
Okay.
also donate.
Yeah, all three of us are podcasters. We love to jump
Sorry.
in and talk. But I'm sitting here I'm just sitting there going all worked up. The BlackRock ESG, and they say we're buying ESG. Can anybody explain why Google, why Apple, and all of these others are rated as ESG funds? I can't. I'm over here going, how many people out there got a cell phone? You know how much power these things take when there's a bazillion of them around? That's a technical term, a bazillion. Do you know how many are out there? They use power.
Oh yeah, they eat it up, and of course the country with the best ESG rating, almost perfect ESG rating on the face of the earth, is Sri Lanka, whose society has collapsed.
Oops.
Because of their climate policies. Okay, it's just it's madness. I mean, it really is societal madness. What we've been doing related to energy and climate, and
there goes my retirement plan. I was planning on moving down there,
Boy, it's been hot though. God almighty, you might want to consider moving back up north.
Yeah.
I'm not, I was moving to Sri Lanka. It's got to be cooler.
Oh, Sri Lanka. Oh, well, I don't know about the temperatures over there. I'm sure they're pretty hot there too. But anyway, the whole ESG thing is just
it's the hot word of the day.
Yeah.
Environmental, social, and governance is what it stands for. And it's really almost taken over for the HSE departments and energy companies and health and safety and equipment. And so it's like, hey, if you got ESG, okay, let me, and if you don't have it, it's almost like you got a black mark against you. But it's like, no, we're safe. We're environmentally friendly. It's like the codes that we have to jump through, even before President Biden came through to drill a well, are stringent, and rightfully so. It's like, I do believe that this is Mother Earth, and it gives us the oil that we need to provide, and I do think that natural gas is going to become even bigger as we move forward, because the science is clear that it burns a lot cleaner than a lot of other stuff out there, and still has just as much power as oil. So natural gas is going to be very important in the future. And in fact, wasn't it Europe that just recognized natural gas as a renewable energy? Is that correct?
Yep. And nuclear.
And nuclear. That's right.
Both of them. Okay. Since you're going to be the president, I'm going to write you in, and then, so I'm going to write you in. Since you're going to be the president, let's say that you're pretending to be president and you actually remember what you're doing today. Yeah. Oh, and so if you did, and you were going to write in a memo or a edict today that we're now going to have the Green New Deal and he's going to come out and ban everything, what would happen if you did an executive order killing everything and making everybody go green like he's talking about doing tomorrow?
Oh, David, you want to go first?
Well, we'd be Sri Lanka. Yeah. I mean, within months. It took about 6 months for Sri Lanka's green policies to collapse their entire economy. So, I mean, wow. that would happen anywhere. It's going to happen in the Netherlands next because they're making exactly the same policy decisions with their farming sector. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, it's a recipe for economic disaster, and that creates an environmental disaster, folks. And when you talk about, wanting to be concerned about the environment, you have to be able to create and use energy, big amounts of energy, in order to protect and conserve the environment. And when you destroy your energy sector, it creates an environmental catastrophe. And we're starting to see that. We're going to see that in a lot of other countries over the next couple of years, unfortunately.
Oh.
Well, I'm a downer.
No. People don't understand that, hey, oil and gas is green and it's friendly to the environment. Why? Because we don't use wood to burn to cook with anymore. We don't use wood to heat our homes with anymore. So that gives more natural, that gives more forest in the world. And all the great things that we now wear that are lightweight and durable, they come from oil and gas products. And let's not forget that here we are all looking into some form of a computer right now, and these all came from an oil and gas product. So if we're not careful, we will see the same things. And we'll also see we'll be back at horse and buggy real quick if this Green New Deal were to go down tomorrow.
So if you were president, you wouldn't be signing it.
No, absolutely not. I'd probably be doing 2-for-1 on the tax credits for investing in oil and gas investments until we could get that production back up here in America is what I would do.
Yeah, I would be handcuffed.
Oh.
Like AOC was handcuffed the other day.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Fake handcuffed. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
There I go talking politics again. I can't separate energy from politics. It's not possible.
No, but RT, when you sit back and our drilling costs have doubled. You mentioned that before, and I have to give a shout out to you. Thank you for having me on your podcast. That was absolutely one of the most fun podcasts I've been on, and you did a great job.
Oh, thank you. It's kind of funny right now. Technically, David was on my first, and then you've been on my most recent. So
I hope it's not last.
No, I said most recent. Yeah, I didn't say last.
You've been banned from the internet.
It's been great doing that podcast, and it was a blast, and I hope people really enjoyed our episode. A lot of knowledge once again was really shared, just like with David. And that's what we need to be doing. And I think it's David that has said this in the past, that on my end, I am an exploration and production company, and we do have an operating company, and it is my responsibility to get the word out there that we are safe and that we are reliable and that we are respecting Mother Earth. That is one thing that the oil and gas sector has not done a very good job of, is get the public knowledge that we've done real well. I mean, you figure, oil spills are just as non-existent as, knock on wood, airplane crashes, and yet everybody still loves airplanes. So we really need to kind of continue to say, hey, everybody needs to love oil and gas until we do find that next alternative energy source. And it's gonna come, but it will not come today. And even if it did come today, it's going to take a minimum of 50 years to transform everything into that. It's not an overnight transition like the president said a couple of months back, where this incredible transition right now. No, I don't think anybody wants to be feeling that transition in their pocket right now. I can tell you that much.
No.
Well, think about it. I mean, if we were actually transitioning to anything, why would we be having an energy crisis that is a result of a completely undersupplied global oil market? We have an undersupplied market, not because we can't produce oil. It's because demand for oil continues to rise.
Mm-hmm.
So what are we transitioning?
Okay.
Demand for natural gas is exploding.
Yeah.
I'm surprised all three of us are not just jumping over each other and talking all the time.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying we're pretty calm and collect here. Wait till we get in the bar. When I'm sitting here, and today I noticed that right after the day after, I'm going back to that one topic because we're sitting here and the Biden kind of messed up by not fist bumping and having all those kind of things. But did you see the article that now Saudi Arabia is saying that they may not be able to even produce anymore? Have you guys heard of that?
What do you mean? Produce more than they're already producing? Yeah.
They may be maxed out.
Right. There was a Bloomberg analysis of that as well. Bison Interests had a good analysis of that. Josh Young, our friend on Twitter.
Right.
who is at Bison Interest, did a tremendous report on that really over a month ago.
Right.
I'll
But
give
another one
credit.
came out just today and said
Right.
they're toast.
Yeah, I mean, they're pumping it like 10.7 million barrels a day, and they're pretty much maxed out. And, now, but we have to understand that the kingdom can activate more drilling rigs and over time increase their ability to flow more oil. But it will take years. It's not going to happen next week. And I think that's the complete lack of understanding this administration had when they decided to send the president over there to insult the crown prince and ask for more oil. Is they seem to think, they actually seem to believe that all the Saudis had to do was flip a switch and a bunch more oil was going to come out of those wells.
Yeah.
Because there's nobody in this administration who has any real understanding of how the business works. And that's an intentional thing. That's absolutely a ban that this president put on hiring people into this administration. There are no appointees by Joe Biden who have any connection whatsoever with the oil and gas industry. And so you end up with this kind of keystone coppery in our diplomatic relations with one of our country's most important allies. And, it's
all right, RT, I'm
Great
going to put a question to you, David. Excellent point. Okay, RT, what agreement did President come back with?
Well, that's a good question. I'm not aware of any agreements that he did have when he came back.
He did. He
What
had
was
an
it?
agreement. We're
What was
investing in Saudi renewables.
Oh, yeah, right.
I'm surprised. That's an energy absurdity of the millennia. Holy
Wait, so America is going to invest in Saudi Arabia renewable energies?
Why not?
Well, sure. You know what? I mean, wow. There's something new every day, and there's also a big mining operation for gold on Mars that everybody needs to be investing in as well. Wow.
You know what? I would follow Elon there. I trust him.
Well, I'm glad you do. You know what? He's doing nothing but making a power play for that to try to pick up Twitter for a lot less. He's still a Democrat. He is still a Democrat.
Oh no. Okay, you guys give me your thoughts on Twitter. Give me your thoughts on Elon and Twitter. I got my opinion.
I think he's just trying to get the price down personally. He realizes he made too much of what did he offer? $52 billion for the company. I think he thinks it's really worth around 38. And he's going through a lot of machinations and delays to try to get a better negotiation going on a lower price for the buyout. Because what's happened within Twitter and their board of directors is now they've got themselves all dead set on this sale, right?
Yeah.
They've accepted it. They've worked it into they've digested it and they're ready to go. And so he sees that and he's just doing all this, trying to get the price down. I think he will ultimately buy the company.
My thoughts on Twitter are this: is I just now opened up my own Twitter account, and I still haven't got it 100% just yet. And so, yeah, that's really what I think of Twitter as a whole. And, I don't own a Tesla,
It's a
and
mouse.
I don't do
You
SpaceX.
move the mouse. RT, you move the mouse.
And click. You got to click.
So, yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm just you're like fighting.
You're so rude, Stu. You're just so rude.
I am. But
hey, I did get a truth.com too, or whatever it's called. The President Trump's. I got one of those
Social.
too. Yeah, True Social. Haven't done anything with that one yet either.
No, I haven't either.
Oh, okay. Here's my 2 cents. Since RT's on.
Oh wait, hey, hold on. Hey,
Oh.
hey, Stu, what are your thoughts on Elon Musk? And Twitter?
Hey, thanks for passing it off. Hey, that was your moment of being a podcaster. Your moment in the sun, baby. I think he's quite honestly, though. I think you're both half right. You're not a nitwit, but you're both half right.
I'm not sure that's possible, but go ahead.
And what I'm thinking is, if he goes to court and he files a motion, all he has to do is file a motion and say, prove it. they're going to have to cough up their bot information in court. And I'm over here going, he's not as dumb as I look. I mean, that's
right. But I think
but
that
in
I don't think
court-
it's going to get to that point, is it?
I
Do you
don't
think it'll get to that point?
if they're smart, they're not. If they're dumb
Right.
as a rock, it's going to get there.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and if it does, that's their problem, because I think really all they got to do is come in and say, you know what, we can probably do this deal for 42. And then he'll say, well, I'm thinking more like 38, and the deal would be done, and there won't be a hearing. So that's what I think. I may be wrong.
Are you at the 35 range or are you at the 32 range?
Oh, I think he'll come in. Hey, when it comes to billions, what is the difference in $3 billion? That's billion with a B. So I'm sure he's gonna hopefully get it for the best price he can get it. I know I like getting stuff for the best price I think I can get it for. So more power to him.
Well, guys, I'll tell you what, we're going to go one more round and then we are going to make sure that this is put out on all the channels. We're going to have our website up, and that way everybody can put in questions for our next podcast. We're going to make this really interactive because we can only make fun of ourselves for another 15 minutes. Yeah, with everybody getting bored. So we want to make sure we can pick on anybody you want and be clean. This is a family affair here going on. So, RT, tell us your last thoughts.
Oh, I'm excited about this. 3 podcasters walk into a bar where the energy sector right now is more important than ever. And it's really for the survival of not only America, but the world. That I do believe that the oil and gas, the American oil and gas is what will save the world this time around. We just got to we just got to wait, and we'll be ready for it. That's it.
David, how about you?
My turn. Well, I just want everyone watching to know that I do not know these two guys. I just logged on my computer and there they were. And they just started talking and asking me questions. So I've been trying to answer them, but they seem like good guys. And I guess we're going to be doing more of these because apparently they're going to just be there whenever I log on. And so, look, this is going to be fun. We'll make the best of it. And I appreciate being included.
You know what? Thank you, guys. I appreciate both of you. And David, that was the worst imitation of our president I have ever seen. You can't even remember we got 3 podcasters walking into a bar and you have no idea who you are. You're doing a great imitation of president. All right, my name's Stu Turley, and we can't wait to see you guys so we can pick on somebody else. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Adios.
Adios.